Yeah, it's YouTube. I'm going to talk about the difference between an Uncle Tom and an Uncle Ruckus. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my bathroom because the lighting here is good. You know what I mean? It's the daytime. You know what I'm saying? I'm a black dude. Have a hard time showing up. But I'm going to talk about the difference between an Uncle Tom and an Uncle Ruckus because a lot of people get those terms confused. Now, if you saw the show Boondocks, you know what Uncle Ruckus is. He's somebody who, kind of downs black people and praises white people. And that's basically it. He hates himself. What white people can't do no wrong by him. Racism is a figment of the black man's imagination. Some Uncle Ruckuses agreed that, America had a severely racist past. But, today, there is virtually no racism, going by their theory, even though there's just mass evidence of it, if people actually did their research. Now, just because a black man can become a doctor, lawyer, and be successful doesn't exactly mean that there's not racism. Just like a man from the Middle East, a Muslim, can come to America and be successful, which a lot of them are. Doctors, scientists, computer technicians. Doesn't mean that they're not being profiled, or when something happens like the Boston Marathon bombing, my prayers go out that, they're the first people that people are accusing or suspecting. Like, they already made, allegations that, but, the cartoon character Uncle Ruckus, he believed that, America was never racist. This goes by, the Republicans. We're seeing Republicans coming out and saying that slavery gave black people shelter. That's what one white Republican, said. You probably saw that clip or whatever, saying the master gave slavery food and shelter. And there's probably some black people who agreed with that, or, felt he had a valid statement with that. And I do believe that. Well, going by that theory, I should be able to grab a homeless man, chain him up to my backyard, have him work for me, and then and if he complains, I'm like, hey man, look, I gave you, I'm giving you food and shelter. What are you complaining about? I'm not saying blacks were homeless in Africa. But, you get what I'm saying. Grabbing somebody, put them into captivity, and then giving them something, and then be like, oh, well, I'm giving you food. It's a ridiculous argument, Now I'm going to get into the Uncle Toms. Now, if you ever saw the show, read the book, or saw many of the movies, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and I'm suggesting you to go on YouTube and watch the 1987 version. Because there's a bunch of versions. Some of them are just stupid and boring. But the 1987 version, which was a Showtime exclusive of Uncle Tom's Cabin, you get a grip on who Uncle Tom was. Now, Uncle Tom was somebody who just didn't hate his captors. He just didn't hate his enemies. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to strike a fist against his enemy. He didn't really rebel, but he didn't hate his enemy. He didn't hate his slave master, but nor did he hate slaves. Nor did he ignore how the slaves are being treated. He recognized the slaves are being treated bad. He wanted freedom, but he wanted to get it kind of like through the white man's way, work and then eventually get freedom. He didn't want to run towards freedom, but he didn't, he didn't hate black people, nor did he hate his black woman. I'm like, he had a black wife. And, at the end of the movie, at the end of the, he ultimately did not want to whoop another slave. So his theory was almost like a Jesus Christ type character. He kind of had to turn the other cheek. But, he didn't, hate black people or talk bad. He didn't talk bad about anybody. That's not, Uncle Tom's method to talk bad. Matter of fact, at the beginning of the story, Elijah, when Uncle Tom and this other slave was figured out they were about to be sold by their master, The other Elisa, I think that's her name. Elijah, no, Elisa. I could be saying her name wrong. She wanted to run away. Actually, she did run away, and she said, "Uncle Tom, let's run away together." And he was like, I'm saying, no. But he didn't snitch. He didn't run to master and say, "Oh, she's running away." He wasn't a snitch. He wasn't an agent for the master. He did his own thing. What other slaves did, he really didn't care. He didn't, try to snitch or try to be an overseer. He did his own thing and worried about his own self. So that's what, I just go on YouTube, watch the 1987 version of, if they still got it up, of Uncle Tom. I think it's in clips, 1 or 2. It's a pretty decent movie. From what I hear, they kind of changed a little bit from the book, not much, but that's the difference between Uncle Tom and Uncle Ruckus. I'm saying? Uncle Ruckus is somebody that's constantly wants to be a bootlick to the white man, and blame black problems on black people's soul, and really just don't like blacks or being around them. And Uncle Tom is somebody who turns the other cheek and doesn't hate his enemy, and is willing to go by the laws of society to get what he achieved, even if the laws are all fucked up and things are against him. That's so. Thanks for watching.